Yeah.
Welcome, Angry Faithful. Yes, the meme of the week in the past couple of actually it's been going on for a while is we are JD Vance. Today that we're not going to talk fully on that. It's going to be in the thumbnail. It's just clicky bait. Yeah, we do that sometimes. Now, saying that, I'm David Dickerman and this is Wild William for
Yeehaw from
the
Texas.
Angry Me production What the Hell episode. And what we're gonna get more or less into politics like we usually do. And there's some weird and fun stuff that happened this week that we'll end up talking about. But let us all begin on this journey that we're doing today. Now, Bill, the biggest thing, well, there's been a couple of big things that's happened this week. One of the biggest things that's kind of funny is the fact that people are burning their Teslas.
Yes, the people who are environmentally friendly and they're all out woo woo for electric vehicles and electric everything. Yeah, they're burning their Teslas. Talk about hypocrites. Jeez.
Yeah, I I kind of find it. Well, Sheryl Crow's like send hers back. Now I'm sending my back because Elon Musk is destroying our. We didn't vote for Elon Musk. I was like, no, he was pretty much. Everybody was saying, hey, you vote for me, I'm gonna put this guy right here. So there's no shady stuff. I'm gonna put this guy right over here, and he's gonna be in charge of finding all the uh fundings that shouldn't be part of the process. And guess
The
what? He does. And people are getting pissed off.
and the thing that they've convinced the liberals have convinced their little lemmings is that burning and destroying a Tesla is free speech.
Yeah, but those things are I hate to say this right now, but those things are environmentally unfriendly when they're on fire.
Yeah, pretty much when the fire trucks come, unless they have a special chemical that's for it, a special foam, they pretty much just have to let it burn itself out.
Yeah, and you're burning up those batteries that are causing it causes cancer when it burns. I, I'm like
Well,
every time I see that, I'm like, you're standing way too close to that.
yeah, it's all in the they don't consider the consequences of their actions. They're reactionary. Also, right now they're astroturf. They're completely funded. No one is showing up with fancy signs and all this stuff in locations, and they seem to have done their burning of Teslas and destroying simultaneously. And I didn't catch exactly what it is, but there is a website out there that was coordinating it, and it was
Really?
basically it was directing them to go out and do this. So some people were doing it on their own, but then there were some burnings and attacks that were fully coordinated.
Really?
And on another Elon note, the rocket was successful. Mission 10 with the astronauts is successful to go up and change out the crew and rescue the Boeing stranded astronauts. That
Okay,
was
yeah, because I was wondering about that because a lot of people were talking about that, and they're like, "Oh, Elon Musk can't get his rocket up to save those people." I
yeah,
was like,
they're such scumbags that I saw a lot of people hoping the rocket would explode and kill the astronauts just to make Elon and Trump look bad.
That
The mission was scrubbed a couple of days ago, but it wasn't even Elon's rocket. It was one of the mechanisms, one of the launch mechanisms, and I think that might be provided by NASA because this went up from the Cape. I'm not 100% sure, but it wasn't a problem with the rocket itself. And it was interesting. Today's launch window had zero tolerance, and I've never actually seen a launch window where there wasn't a window. It said it has to go up at such and such seconds. It has to go. If it's delayed a minute, they got to scrub it.
mm.
And I hadn't seen that, and it went up perfect. And because I was expecting it to the booster to come down on one of his seafaring little pads, but it actually landed at the Cape today, and they said it's because of the trajectory and everything. It had enough fuel to get back to the Cape instead of having to land on one of his floating crafts.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. Well, at least Elon Musk figured stuff out better than NASA. If the stuff came from NASA, I mean,
Well,
Elon Musk didn't hire Nazis, so
no, no. Anyone who trades in their Tesla for a Volkswagen, they're buying a Nazi
that is
vehicle.
hilarious. That is still hilarious to
I
me.
got a Volkswagen instead of that Tesla. And it's like, yeah, okay.
You know, you know, you know who made the Volkswagen? Yeah, it's environmentally friendly. The Nazis, you stupid bitch.
But yeah, Elon he launches. I haven't looked up what a crewed launch is with a crew, uh, because the actual Dragon capsule that cost additional. But the typical launch when he launches a satellite is about $68 million when he does just your standard satellite launch, not an oversized. And NASA was taking about $1.5 billion per launch.
Yeah.
And Elon
For
just spent 450th launch, I think, with a 99% success rate.
yeah, and what a lot of there's another thing is a lot of people don't understand where he gets a lot of his money from. A lot of those satellites goes to actual phone companies. That's how he's able to fund these projects is because the satellites. I mean, now you if you're like in an emergency and you're in like a mountain area, you can text or get an emergency signal through a satellite now because of Elon Musk.
Yeah, getting there. He's launching his low orbit satellites, and I think he may have full coverage in America. T-Mobile was the first one that had partnered with him on that, and
Hmm.
uh, and then I got a text about a month ago. He came out and said, "Okay, every network can do it. Uh, I'm getting into a test program. If you're in the test program, unless you have one of the T-Mobile, one of their newer plans. Right now, I'm in the Magenta plan, and if I was still in that plan, it would cost $10 a month once it goes live in June or July. But anyone with one of the newer T-Mobile plans has access to it for free,
Oh,
and it's starting with just texting. But eventually, he's launching some larger generation, more detailed satellites, and he's going to get it to where it can do voice.
that's nice. Look at this. This is hilarious. Ah, never mind. I'm watching a video and someone made like Pokemon cards for JD Vance memes. I can't show it to you. Anyways, yeah, these memes are getting ridiculous.
Uh,
The, these are so hilarious.
keep on
And
going. I'm looking.
uh that was another news worthy is Robert Robert Kennedy Jr., our new Secretary of Health. He ate at a shaken Steak and Shake. Basically, he was talking about how beef tallow is a better frying component than all the vegetable oil we use now. There's some companies that use peanut oil, but any kind of vegetable style of uh, frying stuff, it's really the chemicals and everything in it. It's really bad. Beef tallow is just basic fat, and that's what you're frying in. You're frying in basic fat, anyways. But if you're using beef fat, it's 100 times more
Yeah,
beneficial. What do
not
you?
not to run down a company though, but Steak and Shake,
I don't
I
know. I
don't
don't like
know.
that place.
We had a bad experience at the one outside of town, and we had ordered fries, and I like a little fries with my ketchup, and it's a massive amount of fries you get with a large, and they gave us two little bitty things of ketchup. And I went back up there and after a few minutes, and I said, "Hey, can we get more ketchup?" And he goes, "Yeah, that'll be in such and such charge." And I said, "What?" And he said, "Oh, he shouldn't have given you two of them. He should have charged you for the second one."
Oh wow.
And I went, "Oh, was that the one you were looking for?"
Yeah.
Okay, and I swore we would never go to a Steak and Shake again.
I'm not going to a Steak and Shake anyways, so I don't really like them all too much anyways. So I'm
Okay,
more
so
if
I had
the
looked.
big.
Oh, keep going.
I said I have I like Five Guys burgers.
Well, it was just the beef tallow a deal that interested me, and I remember when they changed. It was I don't know if it was McDonald's or Burger King was the first one to change away from the beef tallow, but I remember eating those first fries, and I remember going, "These really suck." I remember going, these really suck. And what did they do? And then all of them started using it. So that was horrible. Maybe they'll be go back to being good again. RFK Jr. for someone who just strictly talks about eating your healthy foods. He said, "When I eat French fries in Europe," and I'm like, "Oh, so you do eat French fry, and you eat actual French fries, not the American fries." And he said they
Are
just
you
use
still
the
on
beef.
that?
He said they just use the beef tallow over there. So he said they're so much better than in America. So he is making America at the same time healthy. He's also making it great by improving our fries. And I've never had Five Guys fries, so I can't comment on that.
Dude, those things are delicious. You get the Cajun ones? Ah. Basically, okay. I don't know what their ways of doing their fries are, but basically basically you get your burger and then you get your fries. You just say small fries. Pay for the small fries. That's all you have to do. Pay for the small fries. They get a little cup and they pour the fries in there. Then they dump the rest of them in your bag. You
Well,
get you get large frags no you get a large fry no matter what. Honestly, you do.
what
And
the
they got Cajun seasoning, so they just pour Cajun seasoning on top of it, and you just shake the bag up, and that is just delicious. I love that stuff.
are they the thicker fries or shoestring
Yeah,
or crinkle?
they're steak fries.
Yeah, one of my favorite places to eat is In Out Burger, and the best one is it's not on the menu. Order a double animal style, and we're not mustard people, but they cook the mustard into the patty in such a way it's just juicy and great, but their fries suck. They have shoestring fries.
There's not that many
And
places that have like really good fries. Now,
Brahms
di-
does.
no, don't like Brahms. Uh, you like the wavy ones.
Yeah, the crinkle fries.
I don't like crinkle fries. But you know what? You know who actually has really good fries? And put this in the comments. Who you think had the best fries? The best, honestly, the fries that it's either Burger King. They have decent fries too, and Carl's Jr.
Now, this was a long time ago, but there was a test they did, and the big test on fries is the time of how long they are still good
Oh yeah,
before.
that's another thing.
And that
Yeah,
was a long time ago, but Burger King topped was number one on how long they stayed good. I can't remember
yeah.
the time, but they were number one on it.
See, the only one that kind of like I guess it's like a out. It's not regular fries. They're the curly fries. Curly fries are the best ones, honestly, in my opinion.
Who does anyone besides Arby's have curly fries?
Jack in the Box,
I ain't eaten a Jack in the
but I
Box
don't.
in forever.
Yeah, there's a reason. The food sucks.
I I like
No, their
their
food
egg
sucks.
rolls and some of their other stuff like that. And sometimes when I think of Jack in the Box, I think of me and oh, should I name names?
Go ahead and name names.
Greg Parrish and Daryl Pruitt. We went
Okay.
down in a trip to the Metroplex, and we were laughing at how just rubbery Jack in the Box burgers were. We took them and tossed them up to the ceiling, and they stuck.
That's the reason why I don't like them. I don't understand anybody that likes Jack in the Box. It
What? How
used
about
to
those
be
really great greasy tacos?
they do. They
I
do.
love those
But
little
your
greasy
tacos aren't
tacos.
supposed to be your tacos aren't supposed to be that greasy. I mean,
Well, I remember.
unless you're having like barbacoa, the barbacoa meat, that's totally understandable because it's mostly fat, but it's really tender meat and it's really good. And I don't mind that. But your tacos aren't supposed to be that greasy.
Well, I remember in high school the French fries that they served. They were so greasy. I liked occasionally playing with them, and you could, like an accordion, you could squeeze them like that, and the grease would just flow from them.
Oh, yeah.
And you can
Back in your day, the fry the even in my day, the food was like grade
excellent,
C, grade C,
excellent. I always got
grade
doubles.
C, grade C in school.
Oh, and you can find the recipe for that little square pizza they used to serve back in our day. And it's really good. The square pizza. I don't know if you still had that.
Yeah, we had that still.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
find that.
I probably had the same brand of pizza, and probably the pizza was probably those pizzas last forever because they over ordered and they stacked them up in a warehouse in a freezer warehouse. I probably ate the same pizza that was made at the same time frame that you were in high school.
Yeah,
Honestly,
there's probably a bit of difference in our ages there.
yes, but still, we ate the same pizza and it tasted the same.
Well, that's good. I mean, now look what they. I think it was Michelle Obama that had made their food like a blob of ketchup was counted as your vegetable. There were horrendous school lunches that she had created, supposedly healthier, but disgustingly boring. I used to eat doubles. I used to get doubles all the time at in high school, and I was 165 period, didn't gain a pound, and I would eat doubles and all that.
Yeah, but you had like child metabolism.
Well, there were fat people around me. Probably more fat people nowadays.
Yeah.
But I am losing weight. Monjuro does help lose weight. Although I was out at a Babe's chicken dinner last night, and my blood sugar, for no apparent reason, crashed all the way down to 45.
Really.
Which I don't know if you know blood sugar, but anyone out there who knows blood sugar is probably going, "Holy shit, you were just about to have to go to the hospital."
Yeah.
Yeah, because in the 30s you start getting into organ failure.
Yeah. I had a person that I worked with. She was like 28, and she had complications in her TI or UTI. Yeah, UTI. And basically what happened was is when she got it out, her uh blood sugar dropped to alarming level. Her kidney started failing. Uh she basically ended up in a wheelchair, and in the what's really sad is she was very, very outgoing. She was a wonderful person, but it just sometimes God takes the good people.
Hmm. I do highly recommend the Dexcom 7. It you can really see what's going on with it because I was and then all of a sudden it started going off with a warning, and it turns red, and then it has an arrow that shows if it's dropping or if it's dropping really fast.
Mm,
And mine was dropping really fast. But hey, getting back to SpaceX and Elon.
hmm
I was doing a deep dive into because they always go, oh, we should cut Elon's funding. There's $40 billion. Well, yeah, it's $40 billion since 2008, and those contracts, some of them go to 2030.
yeah.
So the congressman that's out there saying, "Oh, Elon makes $8 million a day from us," he can go to hell because he's lying out his ass. And when
Well,
you think
that's
about,
is it some of the same people that like Maxine Waters, she was talking smack and everything like that,
no,
and
it's
they
this
found
little
out.
Hispanic guy.
No,
I
no,
don't
no,
even.
no, 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 no. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Oh,
They found out that she's been giving $5 million to her daughter through government funding.
yeah, we're finding out more and more of that, and that's what terrifies them.
And that's not just, and I want to repeat this, that's not just the Democratic side. That's actually Republicans too.
That's why they fought Matt Gaetz.
Yeah.
Because he had just done a little documentary, and they did a preview of it, and he was going around telling about how much this congressman had put into this program stocks. It was buying stocks, insider trading, and he was just walking down the hall, and he said, and this congressman bought such and such when he had a bill for such and such. And then he kept walking, and this congress, and he went just door by door. Most of them were Republicans down the hall he was walking.
Mm,
So they didn't want him. I was doing, like I said, a deep dive into what Elon has done. He's done over 120 rocket launches for the military out of his 450, and that was a figure from about 4 to 6 weeks ago that I looked at it. And I was looking at. I asked Grok. I said, list all of the satellites launched by SpaceX for the U.S. government. And it came up with a very detailed list: reconnaissance satellites and space for and all kinds of different satellites. And then some launches that it said many missions are classified and they don't disclose the name. So,
yeah.
but I'm going through that, and then I asked for other SpaceX government contracts. So things that aren't necessarily just satellite launches. And it came up with the deorbiter, the commercial crew program, and then it mentioned something of, I asked, what is the sum total of all the contracts? So it's amazing what Grok can do. So it listed this contract was worth this, and this group of contracts is worth this. And then it mentioned something called Star Shield. Huh? Have you ever heard of it?
Starshield. No, I haven't heard of Starshield.
Well, pretty much Elon, you can think of him as having the highest security clearance possible. Period. When they say, "Oh, Elon, he's a risk," no, he's got the highest security clearance possible. Here's just the intro to Starshield, because I ask details on Starshield. Starshield is a SpaceX program designed to develop, and deploy a network of satellites tailored specifically for U.S. government national security purposes, primarily in collaboration with the National Reconnaissance Office and the Department of Defense. Unlike SpaceX's Starlink constellation, which focuses on global broadband internet and civilian commercial use, Starshield is a classified military-oriented initiative leveraging SpaceX's expertise in satellite technology and rapid launch capabilities. And it goes below are the detailed aspects of Star Shield. I mean, instead of your little Starlink satellites, some of them have laser guidance systems, I guess, all kinds of stuff it goes into. And it says, well, and this is just the stuff that I can find. There's a lot more that is there, but it's classified. But it goes on to the contracts, the fundings, the launch developments, when they launched the first batch of it says number undisclosed, possibly 6 to 12. This thing really digs. This really digs into stuff. May 22nd, 2024. So had you ever heard of Starlink?
Yeah.
Or Star Shield?
No, I never heard of Starshield though.
Yeah, it works alongside SDA's missile tracking constellation and Space Force's communication networks. So, yeah, he's got clearance. He's trusted because this is really deep stuff. I'm surprised it pulled up as much detail as it did. I can go like classified nature limit specifics. There are like possibly 118 of them coming from aggregate estimate. So I think this, sometimes I think Grok digs deeper than it should.
Yeah.
But,
Well, no, if Grok is pulling up, then it's basically on the internet anyways. There's a lot of stuff that's not on the internet that it surprises me talking to certain individuals, and I won't say what's on there that surprises me, but it's just one of those things. It's like, yeah, you can't find this because it's still considered top secret. I'm like, seriously, doesn't everybody? Yeah, but it's still considered top secret, and they keep on pulling down stuff. I mean, look at that guy that uh basically leaked a lot of government stuff on freaking World of Tanks.
no, I hadn't seen that.
Yeah, okay. Basically, this guy had top secret clearance, and a lot of people didn't believe him. And I forget if he was Army or Air Force. I think he was Army. But what had happened is he started leaking a lot of the tank schematics on the Discord server, and the people that were on the Discord server, I guess they didn't like him anyways, so they called the cops.
One of the fascinating things about Grok is how he shows you. I got this
So Grok's
information
a
from.
he.
Well, I call him a he. He gets it from these
You know you
sources.
can do. You know you can do a female voice, right?
Well, I don't have the thing for that.
I do.
With well now, Grok, uh, have you done the unhinged mode? Because I don't have Premium Plus. With Premium Plus, you can go in and it's supposed to be hilarious. You can put Grok into unhinged mode, and he's real rude and actually does voice, not just text. Uh, I told it to do a deep dive a little while ago, and if you haven't ever, I won't go into what all came up and what I was looking in, but if you have ever seen it go, okay, here's everything. Do you want me to go into a deep dive? And
Are we
most
just going to talk about Grok and not the stuff that went on
oh
this week?
well, we can talk about the stuff that went on, and we can talk about what I asked Grok about it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
there was the vote today, and what the vote was to get the CR out of committee so they could actually have a vote on it, on a final vote. Now, one of the things the Democrats were trying to do is make a temporary 30-day and add some amendments to it in that 30 days. Then during that time, we'll work on the rest of it. And in that 30 days, you had one of the things they wanted to add to it was, let me, I've got it up. Chris Coons and Tim Kaine can go to, oh, okay, wait, that's my whole comment I made. He had a bill called Stopping Tariffs on Allies and Bolstering Legislative Exercise of Trade Policy Act, stable. He wanted that. They wanted to require that to go into it before they would vote on it. What that would do is completely neuter Trump's entire administration.
Yeah.
He would have had to go to Congress every time he wanted to change a tariff or put a tariff on any country. He would have to go to Congress for approval every step,
And see, this is
everything
what
he wanted
pisses
to
me.
do.
This is what pisses me off about that, because Congress shouldn't have been in. They don't need to be in charge of that. All they're supposed to do is a vote on a budget. Which every okay. Here's how does it go. I'm sorry if I'm rambling on and everything about it, and I'm not trying to find my words. What Congress is literally supposed to do is, because they're representative of us, they're supposed to go to the Capitol, vote on stuff for payments and what they agreed on, like roads. Okay, we'll just use roads as a example. We all want good roads. We don't want potholes because potholes destroys our tires and we have to buy new tires. Now the tire company wants the potholes there, so that you go to them to get new tires because they want to make more money. Okay. But what we want them to vote on is just, hey, what do you need the bare minimum to spend? We want secure borders and everything like that. Yes, yes. You want this? Okay, yes. That's their job. Okay. The president, he sets tariffs. He sets everything that is executive into the executive office. Now, like I keep on saying, there's a lot of Republicans that want more power. They get into this power complex that they think, hey, I'm more important. Hell, Tulsi Gabbard even said it when she first got there in office. She was waiting in line to go get a coffee. And one of the other congressmen is like, you're a congresswoman now. You don't wait in line. You go forward. And she was baffled about this. Hell, I can't remember his name, and it's hold on. Let me find his name. What is his real name? Come on, come on, come on. Oh, no. Gene Thomas Jacobs. He's the Knox County mayor for Kentucky. He's also the wrestler uh Kane from WWE. He was asked if he's ever going to run for Congress. He's like, "No. There's serpents there. It is a cesspool." And cuz he's about to get out. He's serving his last term. And someone else asked him, which this person was a Democrat, "Hey, you going to congressional?" It's like, "No, it's toxic. It's too toxic for me." I mean, I play that role a little bit on WWE, being a bad guy or a heel, but in all reality, I don't. I just want to run a nice. I want to do good for the people that I care for, which is amazing. That's what you should be doing. You care for your people. You want to represent them in Congress. That's kind of the big show. You are going to represent them in Congress, your district, and say, "Hey, my farmers need a little bit of extra money. We're going through a drought, but we need them. We need them because they already had the farms, and we don't want corporate America buying these farms out and making a bigger profit to destroy our farming community." Because I can go on and on about this,
Yeah, because then
especially like,
the next step is some other congressman will come and go, I'll vote for that if you'll let me put this amendment that lets me get this bullshit crap for my people. I will only vote against, will vote for yours if you give me what I want. And that's how
yeah,
bills get bigger and bigger and bigger as each of them demand their own little piece to pass the bill.
these things should have been 12 bills. This whole one bill should have been 12 bills. Uh, Ron Paul, was that right?
Rand Paul.
Rand Paul. Rand Paul said that. Who's the guy that made that little pocket thing about the debt? He made like a
Oh
button
yeah,
or something like
I
that.
don't remember. I only saw him a couple of times. I know what who you're talking about.
Okay, he's one of the people that actually voted against this bill. That was the Republican side, and he expressed why he did it. Trump got pissed again at him and said he's gonna primary him. I'm like, that dude's actually a good congressman. I wish a lot of the congressmen were like this dude.
Well, you gotta look at the big picture. The big picture is, if you look at the whole picture, Trump is bringing businesses back to America.
Yeah.
That's going to increase our revenues. And then you've got Doge saving money. So if you took that ceiling and made it concrete, then he wouldn't have the latitude to do, because it's like spend a little to make a little, but spend a little to make a little is Trump encouraging companies to come here, not like Biden. Well, we want this chip factory, so I'm going to pay you to build it here. He's encouraging people, but until that factory comes over, until it takes about a year and a half, to build a
It's not
factory,
gonna. It's not gonna be here.
and
It's not. It's not gonna.
that's got to kick in. That's got to kick in first. So you're gonna need to spend a little. You're gonna need to raise that ceiling a little until that can come in. If you concrete said this is the ceiling, I'm not going above it, then nothing else would happen, and the rest of it couldn't happen. So you couldn't have the big revenue. You just keep bumping up to the ceiling, and you wouldn't be able to grow the pot, and not the pot like when you go across the border into Oklahoma. Not that kind of pot. I don't like that
Like
kind of
that kind
pot.
of pot.
It stinks.
It stinks.
Sorry, everybody. My internet's really bad tonight. We have, like I said, we have high winds going at 86 miles an hour. Amarillo is having problems with their highway because a lot of the semi trucks. So all the truck drivers that listen to us, hopefully you get on the road safely. I and it's causing me havoc. We got big gust of winds here in Texas. So my internet's going to be spotty today. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, I've only had 1 2 second power failure. It was enough to knock the computers out, and make me worry about, when you got a hard boot there. I worry about the thousands of tabs I have open and making sure they're restored.
Yeah.
So I have no clue why my computer runs slow.
But
No clue at all.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. And I said this a lot. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Bill, and I understand where Johnny comes from. But I'm looking at it as hear the guy out first. I see why he's not he doesn't want to vote for it. And if it makes sense, don't go attack the guy. And I'm going to primary you. I'm going to do this. No, no, no. Hear the fucking guy out.
Well,
Honestly.
you can hear them out, and they'll just say one line. They're absolutist on that ceiling. Period. They've got no other issue. There isn't hearing them out. They flat out say that's it. Don't want to do it, and there isn't a discussion. They have no other. They're absolutist on that issue,
Well,
and
I understand. Okay, also understand the issue of the reason why he keeps on doing it because he doesn't want to spend any more money that he made that freaking button so he can eventually watch the budget go down.
right. But when you have you have an organization like Elon's Doge, he wants 100 more people. He's got 100 people working. He wants 200. Okay, you've got to spend the money to get 200 people, but he's finding billions that they can cut. So do you want to give him a few hundred million now? Oh, you're going to go above that ceiling when within the next 6 months he's going to find hundreds of billions in savings. But you've stopped him from doing it if you vote no on that.
Yeah. No,
So
I can understand that understanding, but that was actually put in after the fact. And it's the reason why a lot of people aren't voting for it. And here's the thing. You want our country to fail because you don't like things. You want it to be your way and not their way. Or anybody. You don't want it to be part of America. I don't know why these people have it in their head that I know what my constituents want, and they want this. No, 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 no. A small portion of your freaking constituents wants that. Everybody wants to be fucking left alone. They don't want to fucking pay taxes. They want to stop giving money for bullshit. And if so and so's having a bad week and needs a little bit of extra cash, yeah, we'll let them borrow it. And if they don't give it to it, we're not going to let them borrow again. They're probably going to starve because they're going to run out of people. My bad. But that's inhumane. No, that's called survival. There's times that people gave me money because I was down on my luck, and I've gave them that back 10 times fold. I have so many friends because I have done that every time I like, hey, we're going to go out to eat and everything. I was like, oh, I don't have any money. I don't care. I said we're going out to eat. And when I say we're going out to eat, we're going out to eat. Well, I haven't. Did I ask you for money? No. Then we're going out to eat. I've been wanting to try this new place out. Okay. Yes. Well, my pride. No, fuck your pride. I want to hang out with you. If I have to shell a couple of extra bucks so you can get gas in your car to come pick me up because my car's gone for the day, that's what we're doing. That's literally how you have a community. I mean, yes, sometimes they use harsh words to my friends and they start crying a little bit.
No.
They start crying a little bit. And I really am that one day, Bill, I am really sorry that you started crying like that. I was just joking around, honestly. It was I went too far that day and I apologize. But
No,
hands aren't meant to hug people on around the throat. I know that now.
now I didn't get upset. I just had to stop a couple of people from going to HR. I was like, "Hey, that's how he is. That's how we are. Don't go to
Yeah, yeah.
HR. Don't turn him in. This is he's so mean to you. I'm going to turn him. No, don't.
And it's like you have no idea what he does for me. He does that just so everybody doesn't like abuse him, and he's been abused so many times, so he has to act like that. But when it comes around to it, he's a ride or die man. But anyways, there's enough talking
Anyway,
about him.
back to the bill, the continuing resolution.
And that's
Everyone,
supposed to resolve in like September, right? After it's signed, after it's been voted in, if it actually gets voted in, which I really doubt it's going to be voted in the Senate.
uh, yes, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
They had the vote earlier today. Schumer came out and told his people last night, "I'm voting for it." Now, what they were voting for is to get it out of committee because they needed 60 people. They needed 60 people to get it out of committee. Then out of committee, it could go on the floor and they could have the full vote. They wanted to add their little amendments to it. They wanted it to be 30 days. They're going to do the voting on the amendments. They're going to fail. And then when it's on the floor, it only needs 51 votes to pass, but it needed 60 to get out of the committee. No way was that going to happen. Schumer was in a room with all the other Democrats. There was yelling. They could hear people the floor below where they were. They could hear, I think it was Kirsten Gillibrand. They could hear her yelling. They were getting in a fight. Schumer told their people, "We need to pass it. We need to let the Republicans pass it." Now, John Fetterman was the first one who said, "Hey, I'm going to vote for it." And his big thing is he said, "I've seen the commercials that the Republicans are going to run on us that we shut the government down." And he said, "Those are spicy. We don't want those to run." Because they were it was going to make the Democrats look so bad. So Schumer, everyone's against Schumer. Even AOC is like, "Yeah, I need to run," or any needs to run to get Schumer out of the leadership position. After finding out what was going on, I wanted it to fail. I wanted the Republicans' bill to fail. I wanted it to shut down because you sit here and go, Schumer's got to know what he's doing. Why would he want to vote for it and pass it? Hakeem Jeffries was asked today. He was followed, and they kept asking him about, "Oh, what are you going to do about Schumer? What is that in?" And he got, "Next question. I'm not talking about that." I mean, he got really belligerent with some people when he was walking out because they kept pressing him on that. Because the entire House is pissed, and most of the senators are pissed. One Republican voted against moving it out of the committee, Rand Paul, but they got 10 Democrats, including Chuck Schumer, Gillibrand, Fetterman, and some others, to vote for it. So it moved. So tonight before midnight, the CR should completely pass. They're doing the amendment votes, and by tonight it should pass. And we'll get everything. But even Laura Ingraham is like, huh, yeah, we got it passed. Yeah, okay. Does anyone ask the question, why would Schumer vote for it to pass? No, no. And that's what I like about this, and I wish for the last 10 years I had a direct line to Fox, because people say, oh, you just listen to Fox News. No, there's been a lot of things that I come up with and I go, damn, why don't they talk about it? They need to. Well, this is one of them. No one asked the question, why? Well, you can do all the digging and figure it out, and you'd never come up what Grok came up with. In an article, I'm going to do some reading here. In an article, Schumer said, while the CR bill is very bad, the potential for a shutdown has consequences for America that are much, much worse. I believe in allowing Donald Trump to take even more power. Uh, I believe not allowing Donald Trump to take even more power in the government shutdown would be far worse. And I asked Grok, I said, why would a shutdown give Trump more power? So why? Here's his response. When Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said, while the CR bill is bad, the potential for a shutdown has consequences for America that's much worse. And he added, I believe allowing Trump to take even more power via government shutdown is worse. He was expressing a strategic concern about the balance of political power and the practical implications of a shutdown. Schumer's statements reflect his view of the continuing resolution bill, a temporary funding measure to keep the government running, which was flawed and partisan, he believed, likely because it was crafted by Republicans without Democrat input and included cuts or provisions he opposed. However, he saw a government shutdown as a greater evil, not just because of immediate harm to Americans, but because of how it could shift the power dynamics in favor of President Trump. Now, I didn't know these details. Why a shutdown gives Trump more power? During a government shutdown, federal funding lapses and only essential operations continue. The executive branch, led by the president, gains significant authority to decide what qualifies as essential. This discretion would allow Trump to control which services survive. Trump could prioritize agencies or programs aligned with his agenda while sidelining others he dislikes, effectively reshaping government functions without congressional oversight. Schumer suggested that this could accelerate cuts to vital government services at a pace Congress couldn't check. It weakens congressional leverage. Normally, Congress controls the purse strings through legislation like the CR. A shutdown hands Trump a workaround. He could furlough workers or halt programs permanently by deeming them non-essential, bypassing the need for legislative approval. Schumer feared this would give Trump and his allies, like Elon Musk, carte blanche to enact their vision, potentially slashing federal workforce or spending as part of initiatives like Doge. It gives him the to exploit the crisis politically, and this is where Fetterman would come in. Schumer argued a shutdown could serve as a gift to Trump, distracting from his broader agenda's unpopularity. By controlling the narrative and cherry picking which parts of government to reopen, he could paint himself as decisive while blaming Democrats for the chaos. Schumer's dilemma, almost done. Schumer faced what he called a Hobson's choice, a situation with no good options. I would call that a Kobayashi Maru, but the CR was terrible in his eyes, likely due to cuts to programs Democrats value, mental health, workforce training, and its lack of spending guardrails, which could let Trump redirect funds freely. But a shutdown, he believed, would amplify Trump's executive power exponentially, especially since Republicans control both chambers of Congress and might not push back. He was also worried it could stall federal courts. This is good. Key to challenging Trump's actions, because he could furlough staff of the courts and clog the justice system. So all these circuit courts who are district courts and all who are attacking him, he could furlough their staff if he wanted to go that far. In essence, Schumer saw the shutdown as a scenario where Trump could act unilaterally, free from the checks and balances, at a time when Democrats had limited votes to stop him, needing 60 in the Senate, where Republicans held 53 seats. By reluctantly backing it, Schumer aimed to keep some congressional influence intact, even if it meant swallowing a bill he disliked, rather than risk Trump turning a shutdown into a power grab. Now, I think when he was arguing with his own people, I bet this organized it better than he could. Because I'm thinking, you listen to that and you talk to the Democrats, and he tells his people that they would want to vote for it.
Yeah.
But now it could be doing something like Pelosi would do, but he wasn't able to get them on the page on this like Pelosi. What she would do is say, okay, we need this many votes to pass it. Okay, we can lose this many. Okay, you're in a swing district, and this is too radical. Okay, you can vote no, and you can vote no. So y'all can vote no and be safe. We just need enough to vote yes to pass it. And that's how she worked it. And she would go to anyone who she needed, who wasn't going to pass it, because she could say, okay, I'm removing your committee assignments and moving your office into a broom closet if you don't vote for me with this. And that was a thing. Tulsi Gabbard, you were getting into Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
She was told when she challenged something, she was like, oh, you're challenging Pelosi. You can't do that. And she was like, why not? And that's the kind of crap that encouraged her to leave the Democrat Party. That happened around the time that she was actually running in the Democrat primary. Who I always thought was the only person who could have legitimately beat Trump, because
Yeah.
she was rational. She was the one I was afraid of if she got the nomination, but she's too rational, and the Democrats are too radical right now. I mean, they look at what Trump's doing, and they're starting to go, well, one thing, Schumer had always said that government shutdown, Republicans are going to do a government shutdown, and it's going to hurt the American people. So one of the things that they were going to queue up is all the times over the last 10, 15 years that he has said that about a government shutdown. And then they'd go, okay, we had the votes, they shut it down. Boom. And that's what Fetterman said. That's going to run if we don't help them pass this.
Yeah.
So they passed it, and the whole thing's going to go through tonight.
I really, after looking at some of the stuff that was in it, I'm like, this, shut it down. Fucking shut the damn government down. And anyways,
well, you
going
even got the absolutist Freedom Caucus House members to vote for it. The people like Chip Roy, he had a good post out about, I'm voting on this. I absolutely don't like it, but like I was saying earlier, I can see how it will generate revenue to cover it. So that's what he was seeing. I mean, every time you turn around, there's like, this other factory is moving to the United States, and this country has put hundreds of billions of dollars, and they're going to build this over here. He's getting all that going. He's getting it, but like I said, it's going to take a little while. Some of the things are going to be in factories that can crank up. We're going to see. Hopefully, up in the Northeast, I have a friend who lives in Maine, and she's been terrified of this because Ontario is saying, "Oh, we're going to shut down Ontario or Quebec."
But they did shut down like power this week.
No, he
or
threatened it. He threatened
threatened.
it.
Yeah,
But the thing is, there's a natural gas pipeline that could have been going up through Maine. They could have been generating their own power through the natural gas, but Biden shut it down. The environmentalists shut it down. So Trump's going, look, we're going to get this going to where Canada can't do that to us again. We'll be producing our own electricity. Looking at the electric grid is fascinating when you see how much of the Northeast, look at the Northeast grid, actually comes from Canada.
yeah. You
And,
know what's
and
sad though? You know what's sad though is a lot of people don't understand who's funding these environmental organizations.
uh, USAID was funding some of it.
No,
Yeah, oh,
no.
yeah.
No. You're right. Some of it was supposed to be funded by USAID. Here's the thing: a lot of these fundings of environmentals, they get a lot of money really quick. You know who funds it? Russia and China. You know how I found that?
Wow.
That who's the people that made the Project 2025?
Heritage Foundation.
Yeah, the think tank. They found out they two of the people that was working with the Reagan administration at that time, the Heritage Fund, going in and they found out a lot of the environmental uh, stuff is being paid off from like places like Russia and China and everything, just to disrupt our. Because if you think about it, it's freaking ingenious. Okay, what they ended up doing is they pay these environmentals to stop the pipeline. Okay. Well, now they have to go to a different source, and America's not making any money. They're not saving any money either. Or they want this land. They say, "Oh, it's very there's a look what happened with California. This is the biggest thing. They had a lake where the mountain water ran to it. They're always saying, "Oh, we're in a drought. We don't have enough water." Uh, yeah, whatever. I'm not dealing with that one right now. Uh, we're going off of Twitch. I'm not doing Twitch anymore. Let me edit this. See if I can shut this down.
Is there someone on Twitch saying something?
Yes, I'll. Let me. I'm trying to shut it down. Let's see here. I'll deal with it. We're probably not going to go on Twitch anymore because of, I just don't want. I hate spams. That's what that guy's doing. But anyways, as I'm getting back, what is happening is there was a fish that's like,
Delta smelt.
yeah, but it's common. Everybody eats this fish in a different area. But in California, oh, it's a rare species. No, it's not a rare species. You're just a moron. You could have had water. Your people would have been fine. But hey, you're listening to people that don't know anything about this stuff. It's like, and I keep on bringing this up. New Jersey. I don't know why people think bears are cute and cuddly. They're fucking not. Okay? New Jersey passed a bill for it went into effect, and as soon as it goes into effect, I think it was a year and it got knocked down. You're not allowed to hunt black bears. Guess what happened? There's a lot of black bears that I was watching X for the longest time just so I could get my fix on black bear fights in neighborhoods. You can watch this stuff. You can YouTube it. You can put it on X. Look up bear fights in neighborhood, and it's all in New Jersey because the idiot governor decided we bears are cuddly and we don't. Well, no, I can't do the soprano one. Bears are cuddly. We don't need to kill them. All right, they're good. I can't do the voice. I had to work on that one. Anyways, but if you ask a hunter or a person that knows, bears, what are they called? Zoologists?
Yeah.
It if you talk to a zoologist, hey, this thing with bears, no, you need to get rid of them. And they're good for the environment, but they're an alpha predator. They're on the fucking top of the food chain to the point to where if they want to eat something, like brown barrels, grizzlies, you fall down on the ground and you play dead. That actually works for those bears. I don't know about polar bears. Polar bears, they're up in north, so I don't know and I don't care.
And
They can
pandas
stay
will
there.
rip your face off in an instant.
Yeah. Those two bears, if you fall down dead, they will just okay, and they'll walk away. Black bears, on the other hand, will put their paws on top of you and eat you while you are screaming. It does not care. It'll keep on doing it. It's the same thing with freaking Colorado. We're bringing back the they brought back fucking uh
Mountain lions.
Canadian, no, Colorado Canadian wolves, timber wolves,
Oh,
Canadian timber wolves. That was the stupidest thing you could possibly do. Again, alpha predators. They decimated the elk. They decimated the deer population. They they ravaged everything. If they went somewhere else to live, let them live. They're right now they have it right now. Farmers or ranchers can't shoot these wolves because they're trying to bring up the wolf population for some ungodly reason, and they're ravaging the cattle, which guess what? We eat. I seriously think they come up with a plan to destroy us. Like, oh, we're vegans. We want everybody to be vegans. Or, Bill Gates, I got clone meat. I'm trying to sell this. What we're going to do is we're going to decimate the cattle in the United States. How are we going to do it? Wolves. They're natural predators. Stop doing fairy tale shit. Do at least a year research. The bureaucracy is supposed to be slow. Now, if it's an emergency, bring it up and make a solid argument. Like me right now, I don't think insurance companies should make any money at all. They should make enough money to pay their employees a basic wage, and the rest of the money, yes, you can invest. But if you have more money, and here's the reason why. I was talking to a guy because I'm probably gonna have to have shoulder surgery. Guy was telling me, he was like, "Hey, where'd you get your shoulder thing?" I was like, "Well, I did this." I was like, "Well, I can't afford the surgery right now. I can't be out." I was like, "I'm lucky. I live a very low life to where if I was gonna be running on unemployment for a while, I could do it for the amount entitled, and I could still survive. And I don't waste my money. Okay. He was saying, on the other hand, is like he couldn't get an MRI done because they want him to go through rehabilitation first. His shoulder's shot. The doctor already said he needs surgery. And I asked him that. I was like, "Did the doctor tell you that you need surgery?" He's like, "Yeah, but I have to go through this process." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I have to go through this process." He has to go through 6 months of basic something that's not going to help him because he needs surgery, and bam, then he can get his surgery, which he's going to be out that time, so he's going to be out of money anyways. But he has to spend more money so he can get an MRI done, and after that MRI, he can have a surgery to fix his shoulder. And there's things right now that insurance companies are using AIs to figure out if you need to have if something's wrong with you, and the insurance could cover it. How stupid is that?
I read about something. I saw them. They had this diagnosis, and they thought the doctor was missing something. They thought the doctor was missing something. She uploaded it to Grok, and Grok said, "Oh yeah, I see. This is going on." Then she went back to the doctor, and he's like, "Oh yeah." So it looked at an X-ray and gave a better diagnosis than the doctor. Now
Okay, yeah,
your
no, no,
friend
no. Okay,
probably has an HMO,
no, it's a PPO.
a
All
PPO,
right.
and they're requiring 6 months of another.
No, no, he works up at Helmet.
They have more than one plan.
Yeah,
They
you
have a
can get an
cheaper
H.
plan, and then they have the one that's a lot more expensive, but it's not an HMO, and you don't have to do the doctor referrals. I've
Yeah, it's
always
called a PPO. It's a PPO.
Oh wow, that's unusual.
Yeah, I have a PPO.
Yeah, I have a PPO, and if a doctor says you need an MRI, okay, we'll schedule it for tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Now, now, if you were in
No,
Canada,
see,
it would take, usually it varies by province, at least 6 to 8 weeks minimum for an MRI.
mm.
Their healthcare is crap.
That yeah, I understand that's ridiculous. But now
But
I
if we
just
can make Alberta the 51st state, then they can get into our system and get away from that crap. Drop their taxes down, they would just be happy.
yeah, that's a lot of people don't understand is like a lot of these places they're like, oh, they have social. They also spend. I mean, we spend way too much on taxes. I mean, bare minimum. If you're making minimum wage, you're only giving 25% of your taxes. That's far too much. Far too much. 17%, I can understand. And that's what one thing they were going with is like a full blown. I mean, our income tax when this first started, they started doing income tax 1%, and we were fine in a time of war.
Trump's lofty goal, and it's a lofty goal, he thinks he can bring enough manufacturing and businesses back from other countries into here that the revenue will be enough that he can drop taxes completely for anyone up to 150,000.
160.
60?
Yeah, it was 160. I looked at the same thing.
160?
Yes, 60.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'll take a
But
lot of businesses
it's
coming in,
also
but I can see it happening because if he was stopped and couldn't do his trade threats, if he said, "I'm gonna put tariffs on you, but hold on, I gotta check with Congress," they go, "Yeah, right, whatever." Um, it would have completely ground everything to a halt. Then Democrats would have taken over in 2 years, and that's it. We would
Okay.
see nothing.
Well, even now, they're having problems right now getting the votes that they, for the longest time, they were guaranteed.
Well, one of the things that passing this and that not passing what 20 something the amendment that 27 or something Republicans voted for a little while ago after the vote to get it out of committee. They say, okay, that would have stopped this spending and this spending and this spending. But one of the things it would also have done is they're looking at rescission. And rescission, they can pass rescission and claw back a lot. The 83% of programs that Rubio says are under his department, he said we can cut 83%. They can claw it back and cut it with rescission. And I haven't looked into the rescission, technique that they're using completely, but it's just something they can use to claw back all these this excess spending without a 60 vote congressional vote. So that's what they're going to be working on for the next few months.
Hopefully.
Oh, going back to the black bear. The black
Mhm.
bear. If you see a black bear, don't get out of the car to take a picture of it. I did a lot of driving through the Smoky Mountains, 4,000 mile driving trips, and one of them
Don't
we
tell
went
me
to
you did that bullshit.
no, I didn't, my God.
Okay.
But I drove through Cades Cove, and if you ever hear rangers say there's I think they just called it a bear stop or something like that. It meant there was a bear that people could see, so the traffic slowed down. A bear jam. They call it a bear jam, like a traffic jam. And they go, okay, there's a bear jam, such and such. And we were in the line behind one of the bear jams in Cade Cove, and they were in a tree that was hanging over the road. They were on a branch that was over the road. Rangers were waving people through to like hurry up and get through. This car stopped. A lady gets out and goes with her camera to take pictures straight up at it. And they're like screaming, "You idiot, get back in your car and move." But yeah, if you
No,
see it
no, no.
there, and also if you see
I wouldn't have said anything only because I would have been like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is called natural selection. Nature is going to take care of this.
well,
And you don't have to worry about a body.
also an elk isn't cuddly.
No, no.
And
Okay,
I
okay.
pulled
I'll
up
tell you.
and
I'll
I
tell you.
did
I'll
get
tell you. Okay, hold on, hold on. I'll tell you a story. Okay, you remember when we had buffalo in the Wichita Mountains?
yes.
Okay, my family, my mom's side of the family, would go up with us and go see the buffalo. My uncle Roger, he would try to feed a baby buffalo. I learned then. I learned then that nature is dangerous. Don't fuck with it unless you have a gun. People ask me why I carry a gun. It's like it's not people. People are, they're still animals, but you can talk to people. Animals, on the other hand, man, I've shot rattlesnakes in this area. I have done so many things. It I've gone after coyotes, I've gone after hogs, I've gone after man, nature sucks. It tries to kill you, which it's nature.
Now I did get out of my car to take a picture of I think it was an elk, but it was a long way away. I had a good zoom on my camera. I just stopped and got out. But then I'm watching these people just wanting to get a real good close up of it. And other people are yelling, "Don't do that. Get back." And they're just going up with their cameras and that thing charged. Yeah, no, I'm not stupid enough to on animals get. Although I did get to feed a panda, but he was in a cage. That was neat. It was like $300 extra on top of the price to get in the zoo, and you got a behind the scenes tour. It'd be like 10 or 12 people at a time with the zookeeper who would take you through the habitat and show you how they feed them, how they treat them, and then you got to actually hold bamboo and feed them. And I did that, and that was pretty cool. And until COVID, our next vacation we were planning, there were two sanctuaries in China that you could actually go to hold a baby panda. And I was already planning that trip when we was out at Halmet. I was planning it was going to be 17 days going into China by airplane, 3 or 4 days on a boat down a river, and then going to a panda sanctuary where we could have held one. That would have been cool. My wife loves pandas. Anyway,
Go on. Was that it?
yeah, that was it. We she loves pandas so much. If you can imagine this, we swung by Memphis on the way back from Branson to North Central Texas. We swung by Memphis just so she could see the pandas at the Memphis Zoo.
Okay.
Now
Now,
think of a map and think of calling that a swing by. It's quite a ways out of the way.
last thing we're going to talk about. Right now, we are. A lot of people are saying in probably another month or so we might be end up going into a recession. Now, Tesla stock is going down 40. I think it went down 42%. But here's the thing. One, we're not promoting electric cars anymore. It was the same thing with like the best thing I could say is like Disney Plus. During COVID 2020, their stock went ballistic from 81 to $210 because everybody was trying to find something to watch, something to do. After the drizzled down, it went back to its normal $81. Uh, saw it. You could do a pump and dump. It's totally legal. It upsets a lot of people, but you can do a pump and dump where you see the price is going up a little bit. You buy a shit ton of the stock. As soon as it gets to its peak, you sell then. Once you sell at a profit. It You're going to end up taking a lot of taxes out of it, depending on how much you make off of it. You're still going to have to pay taxes on it. But because of that, we had a peak of people buying Teslas. Everybody was buying Teslas. Now it's not being promoted on. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger did a freaking commercial for an electric vehicle. Everybody was doing commercials for electric vehicles. Were they just taking a paycheck? Yes, they don't believe that stuff. They want real good cars. But after they stopped doing it, and after we were supposed to see $40 billion making an infrastructure that actually supported electric vehicles, which didn't happen because they just siphoned fucking money. Guess what happened? Nobody wants to buy electric vehicles anymore.
But in December or January, it was one of the last things that went out. When you saw the video of them, oh, it's like throwing gold bars off the Titanic. We're trying to push as much money out as possible. Rivian got, I think it was so many billions of dollars they just got off of that garbage.
Really?
Yeah. So that's the difference is that Trump encourages businesses by lowering regulations and lowering taxes on them. He encourages them to come here. Democrats are let's pay the business.
Yeah, in my opinion, and yes, this is just my opinion. Like that whole fiasco in 2008, where housing banks were going under. It was catastrophe. We're gonna have to give money to to the banks and bail them out. No, no, they're a business. They're big boys. If they fucked up, which they did, they fucked up and they created this shitstorm, they should go under. And guess what happens? Nature takes its course. Another business that didn't take that course becomes profitable. Why? Because they did smart moves.
Well, they
did
were
right.
they were forced into those moves. What happened is Fannie and Freddie were out there and they were saying, "Hey, we need to rein in Fannie and Freddie." And in 2002, John McCain said, "Hey, we need to rein them in. We need to do this." And Barney Frank was at a committee meeting. I saw this where he screamed out and said, "You just don't want poor people to own houses." Well, all the people backing McCain got scared because the media is going to say that we hate poor people, so we can't stop that. And they came out and said, "Okay, banks, you must give loans to high risk people. You must do it, and if you don't, we're going to take away your FDIC federal guarantee." That forced the banks to make those loans, and then it collapsed. So the whole thing that it was Bush's fault, no, it was Democrats' fault because they forced the banks to make those because I actually went to buy a house. I was going to buy a house at that time. They tried to go, okay, let's do these upgrades. You can do these upgrades and you'll be able to afford it because we're going to give you 110% loan. 110%. So we wouldn't have to put a dime down on the house. The 10% would be counted as the down payment. And then I kind of backed off on that and went, no, I'm not going to do that. But that's what the builders were pushing and the banks were agreeing to it. Otherwise, the Democrats were threatening that they would lose the government backing.
I'm pissed off of myself now for doing that because you know how much my down payment for my house was when I was buying a house. You know how much my down payment was? Just guess. Take a wild guess.
10,000?
$100. And that was that time frame too. And the company I was working for, ABB, closed down and went to Mexico. And yeah, now I can't get a house for anything now. I would have to like buy a house full out, which I'm saving up. It's just I can get a cheap house for like 25,000. And it's just me. I'm not looking for anything big.
Yeah, this was 2003 and this was 2003 and I don't know how much that would have been, 150,000, something like that. I mean, it was going to be a nice house. Oh, look, we can upgrade to this kind of countertops. You want a media room? Yeah, I want a media room. I want a full surround sound, theater seats in it. Okay, we'll get you that. So I had put all of that together and they were going to do that loan. And I backed away from it. And I was working to get a job at EDS. And I had a local doctor from here while I was living down in the Metroplex, but I was seeing a local doctor here that I had seen for years, overdosed me on some medicine. So in the third interview with EDS, I was so loopy, I didn't even know my name. So I didn't get the job. If I had gotten the job and bought the house, 6 weeks later, EDS got rid of that entire program.
Really?
So I would have been screwed.
Yeah. Well, that's about a hour and 30 minutes on the podcast. Thank you for our one listener that's been watching us, listening to us. And yes, I am. We got one more thing.
One more thing. One more
And
thing.
may
Now,
he, goddamn, every time, Bill.
don't assault Trump. Here is Trump getting assaulted by a reporter.
I gotta see this. I thought that was funny. She really was just, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that. But anyways,
Well, hold on. You got to see the still image. You got to see the still image. This is the look that lady will remember forever. That's the look
uh,
he gave her, the lady that hit him with the microphone.
yeah. All right, everybody. I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Bill, or Wild
Thank,
William.
thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.
Bye. Till next time.